All right, we're going to try this. So, hey guys, welcome to our channel. This probably won't go up. So, we've been decoding Losing My Religion, set it up, or set enough, changed to set it up, and that happened twice. And now I should be able to do this in such a way that I should be able to share. So, if we're going to get right into it, we're going to set enough, change to set it up. So, if we cross off this S, hello cat, because it's still in set it up. So, cross off the S because it's still in set it up. This I is still in set it up. This E is still in set it up, so we're going to cross it off. This U is still in set it up, so we're going to cross it off. And that leaves you with ADNOGHTTP. And that's what we bring down. And so you have ADNOGHTTP. And that's what you're working with. And that happened actually twice. So you actually bring ADNOGHTTP down twice. When we're doing these decodes, once you get to this overlap, once you make the overlap in any combination, you can then start over. So we're trying this new app out. We're trying this new thing out to be able to share my screen. So we're going to hope it's working. So, all right. Now we've got this to go through all the categories. And I really wish I would have had this, but I'm going to start using it now. I might have to start paying for it. Apparently, I've only got 5 hours, and this thing will only record 25 hours a month, and this thing will only record 25 minutes at a whack. So we're going to get going. So in our translations here, we took NOG, and NOG equals yet, and that's in Dutch. And as you can see down here, I kind of missed this before, but there's yet, it's an adverb. There's yet, still, silly. So there's a few other translations down here. And I'll get to that in a moment. You also have AO, which ends up being to the, and that's in Portuguese. TOG ends up being train, and that's in Swedish. And you can see down here, take, carry, embrace, treat, score, wreck, or reek, and shoot is all translations for that. TAGH ends up being select in Scots Gaelic, and there are no other translations for it. HOND ends up being dog in Dutch. You've also got dog, hound, harrier. And you can see that these are less frequently used than dog. You also have NAGH, which ends up being snake in Hindi. You also have Bulgarian. NA is Bulgarian, and that ends up being on. You also have of, on, to, in, for, at, by, and per. With, into, up, upon. So you got all that with that. We're going to move on. NA was on, so we're going to move on to GHAND, which ends up being shall. That's in Maltese. You can see over here. And it also ends up being at. NAAG ends up being woman, and that's in Somali. You also have wife. GAAN ends up being to go, and that ends up being in Dutch. You also have go, proceed, work, walk, step, wind, and gang. PAON ends up being peacock in French. You also have peafowl and rooster. ADOGH then ends up being pardon, and that's in Welsh. There isn't anything else going on there. TAON ends up being years. Not really much going on there. Path is obviously path in English, from English. Pad is pad. NOOD, nude, ends up being need in Dutch. You also have distress, want, pinch, and peril. NOOG then ends up being birds in Hmong. You also have inquire, apparently. And that inquire might be interesting. HOO ends up being he is, Arabic. And it's also it, he, this, and its. HOOG ends up being high in Dutch. Also high, tall, steep, long, lofty, treble, exalted, topping, high-pitched. Good is good in English. OA ends up being or in Spanish. See here, Spanish. NOD, nod, is nod. Goat. We all know what a goat is, but that's in there. GOAH ends up being pantry, and that's in Sudanese. DOA ends up being two, and that's in Chinese. Hot is hot in English. HOAT ends up being function from Vietnamese. TOAT ends up being whole from Romanian. HOA then ends up being flower from Vietnamese. You also have bloom. HOA or HAO, ends up being great from Chinese. You also have good, well, fine, okay, 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 okie dokie. Also love and like. And HO ends up being protect in Japanese. And that's as far as we translate it. So, the next step then obviously becomes to put these things into the gematria calculator, because sometimes they line up to where you get something you can actually look up. Just looking at it. Oh, and also tooth is tooth in English, hog is hog in English, and hoop is hoop in English. I noticed something in here. He is high. Let's see. I thought I saw something else. And I think I did the DOA as prayer. So the next step obviously will be to type these into the gematria calculator. Now, I can actually give an example of how we do this now. So we're going to go with the 4 base ciphers. I got reality in from the live stream last night, but let's just type in the first thing we got, and that's yet. All right. Well, it doesn't matter about the caps, but yet. And I don't have my handy notebook for this, so I'll probably, but anyway, YET 50, 14, 31, and 13. 50, 41, 31, and 13. All right. So let's do another one. Just how about to the 68, 23, 67, and 22. To the 68, 23, 67, and 22. All right. So we'll just take those two examples for now, since I don't want to run this video too long. And we'll bring this up, and we'll just drop this down a couple. So you got yet, and that is 50, 41, 31, and 13. Oh, and to the is 68, 23, 67, and 22. Now, the reason we do that is because sometimes we can get something you can actually look up, and like a phrase or a string of words that you can look up that I might not see myself. Let's go back to it didn't let me. Oh, it's not letting me there we go. So we'll see if that worked. So at any rate, I'm going to let this video go at that so I don't run it too long. I'm going to come back, and since I have a little time today, I will try to come back and put these all in the calculator and see if we find anything we can run. And whether we do or whether we don't is kind of irrelevant. And at that point, we're going to move on to the numbers and do this all again. But this time, I'll be able to show what I'm looking at as I go. So it'll be a little different. So I'm going to try to upload this video, see how it works. So for now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down when appropriate. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks for watching, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.